In this video, I'm going to talk about customer support swarming. Now, what is swarming? Swarming is basically a process to quickly bring together experts across your business to help the agent solve the issue. Now, imagine an agent is having a conversation with a customer and the agent is not able to resolve an issue. Okay. Now, at that moment of time, agent can request for swarming activities. Okay. And then they can the swarming process will basically collect all the subject matter experts within your organization and send them a request. And collaboratively, all this particular individual can start the conversation and start providing some suggestions or resolution to the issue. Now, this can be done as an independent activity as well, so it need not be in a part of the conversation. So I can show you both the approach within this demo. Now, agents and subject matter experts can swarm together when resolving complex cases. Okay. Now, agents can effortlessly find the right set of experts to work with on their customer issue, and they can collaborate with those peers directly from their desktop. Now, how the swarm works is now within your organization, there might be many people. Okay, so every person basically will have some sort of a skill set assigned to them. Now, if an agent requests during the swarming discussion that I want people who have, say, Power BI expertise, then all the individual within your organization who has a Power BI expertise will be requested for some assistance, and then from there the swarm activity will begin. So basically, agents create a swarm request, and then agent will also provide some information like what all steps agent has already tried, so that all the swarm participants will get the context of what's the current state of the swarming activity. They can specify the skills, or the skills are auto populated based on the context of the request. Now, based on skill sets, matching participants are reached, and automatically account manager is added. Now, remember, automatically the account manager is added and participants are added to the Teams chat. Now, if you see in the screen, the swarm actions of creating a swarm, resolving a swarm, canceling a swarm, and reactivating a swarm. Okay. Now, here, if you are in any case, you can create a swarm. Okay. Now, once you create a swarm, all the swarm participants will get this request, like in Power Automate, like kind of a Power Automate card within your teams, and they can open the swarm chart and then participate in the conversation. Now, agent can see this screen in the chat, in the case entity. They can resolve the swarm, they can cancel the swarm, and once the swarm is resolved, then if required, so they can reactivate the swarm as well. Okay. Now, swarming sweat setup. Now you need to create a swarm first. Activate notifications for experts. Okay. For example, Power Automate. Okay. So basically, this is basically a Power Automate card which gets presented to the user in Teams to receive the swarm notification. You can define the experts, skills, rules. You can auto add to swarm. So all these things can be done while setting up the swarm. Now here, how do you set up a swarm is like under collaboration, you need to go to customer support swarming, you need to turn this on. And in the swarming request, you can first you need to enable the case details. Now this is an important step. What you need to do is like you need to click on this link, and then it will activate the case form for swarming. Okay, so basically it's Power Apps to show swarm participants important case details while swarming. So this is that second step which you need to do. You need to specify all the skill set. Okay, you will see all the skill set in your organization. Now, as you see over here, for Power BI we have swarm expert count as one, user count as one. Power Platform, I have one expert and two users, and all those sort of skill set. Okay, because all the swarm requests will be done based on the skill set and the user. Okay. Now here I have one expert who's like skilled in Power BI and Power Platform, and these are some of the condition rules which we can further set up to enable those swarming activities. Now, swarm setup. Once you have the swarm setup, then you can see the status, like whether the swarm is completed or not. Now, this is like I have two swarms created, Girish Swarm Teams and Swarm Power BI. One is completed, one is not. I just wanted to show you that you can still have a swarm created, but that might not be fully configured, so that's fine. And once you're done with setting up a swarm, you will get this notification, okay, like kind of a message that all your swarm has been set up. Okay, now let me show you in action. Now, this is the conversation which is currently going on with one of the customer, an agent. Now, what happens is like, let me show you, let me first give you the context. Okay, so this is an agent. This is a customer basically. Okay, so this is a customer and this is an agent. Now, the customer and agent is having a conversation. Let me doctors. Okay, so this will be always available, and then let's assume that during the conversation customer might ask some question. Okay, how to okay, now agent has asked one, the customer has asked one question to the agent, and now let's assume the agent is not able to resolve this request. Now, agent can see that this is somewhat related to a case which is already existing within the system, or maybe a new case can be created, okay, by the customer, by the agent. Okay, so let's assume agent thinks that, hey, this is a new case. Okay, so there's some error. Let me close this and let me go into, so I'm an agent. Okay, yeah, let this load. Okay, now here, if I so let me create a case. Okay, let me create a case. So if I go into cases over here and let me create a new case. Okay, I think there is some issue with the refresh because I'm using the previous session, but that's fine. Let this case load and let me type this. This is a question and the customer is, okay, it's still loading. It's a bit slow over here. Okay, so let the customer is a data integration and the title is PBI workspace creation. Okay, maybe this is related to some case. Okay, and let me save this case. Okay, and I get all the details populated over here. So now the customer has asked a question, and then the agent is has created a case in the backend. Now, why this case creation is important? Because in order to have those swarming activities started, you need to have first the case created, and then here you will see a button called as create a swarm. Okay, so let me create a swarm. Okay, now I'm creating a swarm on the fly. My conversation is going on with the customer, as you see over here, that the conversation is currently going on. Let me, yeah, it's still, yeah. So if you see here, I have created a swarm and my conversation is currently still going on with the customer. Now here, the swarm request is basically, I need to tell people that what you need help with. Okay. Now, I might say I need help with so many things. Okay. Now, the first thing I'll say, Power BI workspace, how to create Power BI, say Power BI workspace. This is the request customer has started, and what all steps you have tried is like, I will say, I might have tried, say, looking into PPI desktop. Okay. Now here, if you see what skills do you need, it has automatically populated Power BI based on the Swarm request. Okay, and now here it will start finding some more information. Okay, if I say, if I add something else, then it will start looking into the other keywords as well. Okay, so let's assume if I type Power Apps or something like that, then it might start, like finding more skills. And if the skill is available within my application, then it will start adding over here. Okay, or maybe I can select if there are any other skill set. Okay, so there is this, let me keep here Power Platform. Okay. Now here I have a skill called as Power Platform, and now I can select Power Platform or Power Virtual Agents over here, and then it will start adding those skill set and start requesting for the user who has that specialty in that. Okay. Now here uh, I have created the swarm request, and now let me click on save and send. Okay. Now I have created the swarm request, and it is now doing some activities, inviting participants to chat. Now it has find, like say Girish Uppal as the owner, and Alex as like the person who has requested this conversation. Now the swarm conversation has started. Okay, how to create Power BI. Now what technically it does is, if we go into Teams, okay, let me go into Teams as Alex itself. So it has created a chat, okay, within the Teams, and the chat name is the name of the swarm request. Okay. Now if you see here, yeah, let this load. Yeah, so if you see here, this one, okay, this is the one which is created recently, and it will show you that a swarm request has been created. Okay, and all the people who has specialty in Power BI will be invited. So let me now log in as Girish. Okay, so we go into apps and Teams, and this is a like a different person. It's like an account manager, Girish. Okay, now let's see whether Girish has received that notification or not. Okay. Now here in Teams, you can also go from here and then see, if you click on here and then you go to Teams, and then you should be able to see the Teams chat over here as well. Now I need to refresh this. I don't want to do that because I might lose the conversation, but here also you will be able to see the preview. Okay, but I will rather go into the team, and then in the team I can see that, oh, this is the conversation is happening, and I'll say, okay, go to, okay, and then the swarm experts has given some suggestions, and now the agent will receive this information, and then maybe agent can suggest this conversation to the chat, you know. Now here if you see here, PBI workspace creation, this one. Okay, this is that case. From this case we have created the swarm request, and this is the swarm request. Okay, now if I go into the chat, from which I have started the entire conversation, it will start connecting to this chat. Let me see if that chat is still active. And once it is like connected, you can paste in the message, and then the information will be received by the end user. Okay, so basically the goal is like, once you are in a chat and if you're not able to resolve any issue, you create a case, and once you create that case, you create a swarm request. Once you create the swarm request, you collaborate with various experts within your organization, like as you see over here. And once the swarm activity is done, then you need to notify all the participants that it's all done now. Okay, and then you can say, okay, all sorted. Okay, now you can chat inline within the interface, or maybe you can go into your team and then you can see all the requests, within Teams, which is like a big and wide interface. Okay. Now here, once the swarm request is done, what you can do, you can say, oh, this is resolved. Okay, so you click on resolve swarm and say, this will close all swarm related activity, and you describe the solution. And the solution is basically to go into the cloud and create a workspace. Now you record this so that this can be put into your knowledge base, so that in case in the future, if any agent received such request, then this is the resolution for it. Okay, so you resolve the swarm. You can also cancel the swarm if you think that you have already found a solution before even having that consultation, uh, or you can reactivate the swarm. Okay, so if you click on reactivate, now you might think that, oh, I forgot to ask one more thing. Then you can reactivate that swarm, and then once you reactivate that swarm, you need to again click on save and send. Okay, now once you do that, then again the conversation will start between various parties for the resolution. Okay, now let me show you how it looks like. Now it is once the swarm request has been completed. Okay, let me minimize this. Okay, once the swarm request has been completed, now the all the like the your team members will receive such request. But now here, you can also, as a team member, can open the records in Dynamics 365 and see what's happening. Okay, so basically it's a Power Automate card. Okay, which gets presented to all the experts within your organization, and then once this request is reactivated, then you can again start providing some resolution again. Okay, and then the agent will get those information, and then they can resolve the swarm. Okay, so that's how you resolve the swarm. You can reactivate the swarm, you can cancel the swarm. But how do we configure the swarm? Now what we have done, we have created a swarm request, okay, from a case. Okay, now, if you go into customer service admin center, so I'm in the customer service admin center over here. If I go to search, then you click on Swarm. Then here you will see under collaboration, customer support swarming. You click on manage, and once you click on manage, here you will be able to configure various things. Now, first you need to turn on the swarming functionality, and then under manage setups, like you need to configure it. Now this is already configured for me, but if I can go back here and click on manage setups, uh, it will allow me to create those swarming setups. Okay, now I've already created two swarming setups. So now let me click on start new and to show you how it is a guided channel setup. Basically it will ask you, like, if customer support swarming is a way to quickly bring together expert across your business to help agents resolve the issue. Now here you need to give some setup name, so let me call it as PVA swarming setup. Okay, and I click on next. Now here it will ask you to configure various things. Now swarm expert, you need to select an expert within your organization. So let me say Alex, and so Alex is one of the experts. So let me select Adele. Okay, now select a user to be swarm expert. Okay, now we have selected one user. Then I click on creating those swarm expert for this particular swarming setup. And then it will be navigated to the skills, rules, auto add to swarm, and completion activity. So let me say if the skill is power virtual, so there is no skill set defined for that specific user like Adele. So maybe let me create a new skill set, and let me call this as PVA. Okay, so if I click on save and close, then I got this PVA as a skill set for Adele. Okay, now, if I click on next, then I can create some condition rules. Okay, with swarm experts and skill added, you can build rules that auto suggest skills based on swarm details. Okay, so I can put a condition rule which will say that if the swarm request that title basically contains PVA, then you add those skill automatically, and that's how this skill rule is defined. When I click on next, it will say automatically add to swarm. So who all you need to automatically add to swarm. Now by default, manager, team admin, account owner gets automatically added to swarm. But if you don't want, say, team admin or manager to be added, then you can remove those user roles, and then you click on next. And then once it is done, your swarming is completely set up. Okay, so and then you can say, okay, go to home now. Now we have already set up this swarming over here. Now you will see three different swarms. Okay. Now, if I go to collaboration and if I say go to customer support swarming and I click on manage, then under manage setups, I should be able to see three swarming setup. Now, two of them is completed. Okay, which this is the one which we recently created. Now, this is how you set up the swarming information within your organization, and then once you start that swarm request process, which you usually do by going into the case entity, then you can uh, like say request for some more information by providing a case swarming title, and then that case swarming title you specify that, hey, I need some assistance with regards to PVA, and then automatically that particular swarming instructions get triggered, and then proper expert can be revealed by those requests, and then you can start the swarming request. So that's it, folks. This is all about creating a swarming. Swarming is basically used to resolve the case by including collaborating with a set of experts within your organization who swarm in to get the issue resolved. Okay, so that's it, folks. Thanks for watching.